Alright, camera 1 ready, camera 2 ready. You sure? Lights are up, computer's here, iPad is here.
All is good.
All is good, fantastic. What's up, champ? Hope you have a great day. Another day, another video. In this video, I'm gonna do my absolute best to give you as much value as I possibly can, because I know you're here because you're probably a dancer and you wanna know how the world's best dancers train in order for them to perform even better, right? Like, you keep seeing dancers from all over the world improving their dancing, growing physically, if that is more muscles or losing fat or whatever the case may be. But you think that it's like, hey, but what are they doing and why am I not getting the same results? Luckily, I know their secrets. You wanna know why I know the secrets? Because most of them actually trains together with me. My name is Coach Sebastian, or I am Coach Sebastian. Over the last 7 years, I've been able to train some of the world's top dancers in Latin dance, in hip hop, in folk dances. Like, some of the names you might know is Alemana from Attacking Alemana, Karel Flores, Antonio Berardi, Marcio Ratinho. We have Carolina Rosa, Truji Gloria, Corky Judith from Bachata Sensual. Let me keep on going because the list is not stopping. Kiko Cristina, I also trained Luis and Andrea. On and on and on and on of dances that I've trained, and in today's class I'm going to do my absolute best to tell you how they are doing the same, or how you can do the same in the comfort of your own home, if that's what you like. I personally love home training, but I also like going to the gym, right? So there is a specific way that the world's top dancers train, and no matter where you are on the scale of your dancing, no matter where you are on the dancing sphere, maybe you're a hip-hop dancer, a Latin dancer, a tap dancer, doesn't really matter, because end of the day it comes down to human movement, and that's what I specialize in. How did I get started with all of this? A couple of years ago, by the way, before I dive into that, I would just want to let you know that if you stay around, by the end of this webinar, you're gonna be able to do more of what you want to do, which is like reach your dance goals, improve your dancing, build muscles, lose fat, and at the same time get mentally stronger. That's the goal of today's webinar, right? I just wanted to pause super quick here. As you can see, there is a button that is blinking like crazy, or doing something. I hope it's blinking at least. And that button is about getting on a call together with me and one of my team. In that call, it's a free coaching call, a strategy session where we map out 3 things very casually. We're gonna see where you are right now, so we understand what's going on in your life. Next, we're gonna talk about where do you want to go, so we can draw a roadmap, so how we can get there. And then the third thing is we're gonna uncover the things that are holding you back from getting there. Maybe it's low confidence, maybe it's just knowledge, whatever the case may be, right? Now, for full transparency, like I keep saying, that call, you can't buy anything on that call, right? Like, leave your credit card somewhere else, because even if you wanted to, you couldn't, because that's not how we do things on our end. But if we feel that you are a good fit for our program, and you feel that we are, or I am a nice coach, and we feel that the energy is right between the both of us, then you have the ability to get on the call later. We're gonna book another call in that case. But no pressure. If you don't feel like it, don't worry about it. Just wanted to pop in and say that. Now let's right back to the webinar. I want to teach you about this thing called dance-specific training, and I hope you're as excited as I am. I'm going to do my absolute best to keep this entertaining, bouncing between 2 cameras, and also around here somewhere in this platform there should be like a speed up button. Maybe you want to press that if you think I'm talking too slow. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to take offense. Just double tap that and listen to me in double speed if you want to. How did I get started with this thing that we call dance-specific training? A couple of years ago, I was in a very dark place. Started off being depressed, was struggling mentally, had woke up in the middle of the night with panic anxiety. I don't know if you know what panic anxiety is, but essentially as you feel like you're dying, it's the only way I can explain it. I used to have up to 6 of these attacks per day, so I was in a really dark space and was definitely contemplating suicide more than one time. And how did I get out of that? I got out of that through training, actually, because at this point I was already a professional model, so I was traveling all over the world as a model, and I was also a professional dancer, was doing dancing with the international artists, was doing world tours and all of that good stuff, right? But on the outside, I was crushing it. But on the inside, here, I felt terrible. So now in retrospect, I understand that it had to do with my overall diet, my way of living, like I didn't take care of my body, I definitely didn't take care of my mind. And what I did is that I started training. So I started running. That was my first thing, right? Like I started running. So I always say that I literally ran away from anxiety. But the thing is that after some time, I got tired of running because honestly, I don't even think it's fun. But I came into this whole wellness journey. That's where it started. So what I did is that I found a training program and I got really, really dedicated, and I went all in for 4-6 months, did everything I should. I counted my calories. I made sure I stayed on track. I slept properly. I did meditation, all of that. So what ended up happening is that, of course, I got better mentally. I came out of depression, stopped having panic anxiety attacks, and life was going better. Now, the negative thing with this was that I ended up looking and moving like a bodybuilder because I was doing a bodybuilding training regime, right? So, and that was the thing. Like the thing was that I was so caught up in training that I didn't understood what was happening to my dance. And I know a lot of you guys are feeling the same. You're either training really, really hard, not getting the results that you want to, or you're training really, really hard and you are getting stiffer. And that's absolutely not what we want to do, right? Like we want to train in accordance to our dance so our dance becomes better. So what did I do? After my friends have told me, hey, listen, you're starting to look stiff, you are losing your dance, you look better, we can hear on you that you're happier, but letting you know that you're not dancing as well anymore. What happened was that I actually started study. So I started study at the Norwegian School of Sports Science. I studied fitness there. And what was my thing was that I was so focused on helping dancers to become better. Because I went all over internet and it was nothing that I personally could relate to. I couldn't relate to it, and like I said, I was already a professional dancer at this time, but I couldn't relate to what I was seeing. It was just few like squats is good for your knees as a dancer, this is good for ballet, this is good for your turns, but me as a hip hop dancer and a Latin dancer, I couldn't relate to it. So I said, you know what, if I don't find it, let me just create it myself, right? That's how I started dance specific training. And throughout these years I've been doing it, I've been blessed, and I'm so grateful to be able to create this method together with Alemana, Judith from Cork and Judith, Cork also of course, Marcio Ratinho, like Truji Gloria, like I've had all of these people and all of these influences while I was traveling the world and teaching and developing dance specific training. So in today's, like my goal here is that I want you to understand how you can apply these principles to your own life and how you can grow as a dancer, reach your aesthetic goals, and doing this in like a way without going crazy up here and, you know, like going bodybuilding diet and all of that. Because why? Being on a diet sucks. Like I never going back on a diet. I tried it, terrible, don't think it works, right? A diet only works as long as you do, so I don't recommend it, yeah? So if you get this thing right, I promise you that you're gonna improve your dancing, you're gonna lose fat, you're gonna build muscles on the places you want to build muscles, improve your flexibility and mobility, and you're gonna be mentally stronger. And I know this because I trained thousands of different dancers, literally thousands of dancers that are in similar situations like you, amateur dancers or professional dancers that want to become a better version of themselves. And everything I'm teaching is backed by science, yeah? So it's not only cost effective, because you can do it at home, it's also backed by science, so it's a proven method, and at the same time, it doesn't take more than 10 to 15, maybe 20, 10 to 20 minutes per day if you're dedicated and actually want to achieve this. Does that sound good? Awesome. Because if you don't get this right, you're gonna end up being frustrated, you're gonna put in a ton of work without feeling that you're actually getting something back from it. You're gonna be miserable because you see other dancers leveling up. You're always gonna feel that like, wow, what if I started training properly and took care of my body. And you're probably gonna get injured sooner or later, right? So let's just not do that. Let's focus on what we should be doing, right? So the big picture here that I want you to understand is that there is a specific way for us dancers to train. The world's top dancers are doing it, but you can now apply this to your own life because of this guy. All right? So let's dive into it. This is what I want you to do. I want you to draw 3 intersecting circles like I have done here. And on the first one, I want you to write nutrition. Let's run over the headlines first. Nutrition is the first thing. I want you to run over mindset and then training. Because that's essentially the 3 things that we help people do, right? We help them get more understanding of their nutrition, mentally stronger, physically stronger, and then every once in a while we have people that come to us because they actually want to learn how to dance. We have a program for that also. But I honestly don't think that you came here to us to learn how to dance, right? Like you came here for a bigger cause. You're probably already a dancer that wants to become better at what you're already doing. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Nutrition. First thing I want us to focus on is, just so everything is clear here, we don't do diets. No diets. And why is that? You know, a diet only works for as long as you do. A diet only works as long as you stay on that diet. And as soon as you drop that diet, everything else is going to collapse. And I know for myself and also Alemana, when I was working together with Alemana, one of the main things that we were talking about was the knowledge about nutrition. Because she was constantly traveling all over the world, so it was really hard for her to commit to a diet or meal plan. So what we focused on was that give her the knowledge or teach her the knowledge as a student of that specific training. So she understood, okay, if I'm at a buffet, what is food that is helping me reach my goals? And what is food that is taking me away from my goals? If I'm partying and everybody's drinking and I also want to drink, what do I drink that doesn't do as much damage as a Cuba Libre, for example? Does that make sense? No diet. We're focusing on something that is way bigger than that. And that is, we want focusing on things that wants to fit your lifestyle. Oi. Fit your lifestyle. Because the thing is what, right? Here's the thing. If you're so focused on doing this diet, you're doing everything perfect, right? Like now, most of us did that, or most of us. Some of us did that during quarantine. During quarantine, people were really, really focused on making sure that they ate good, they meditated, they started to train. That's what some of us did. Some others just went in a complete other direction. But some went all in, strict diet, boom, improve their body. Then what happened with these people when they came back to a normal life? They failed. Because in quarantine, it was easy to stay on track. But as soon as you left quarantine, your life changed. And because training wasn't part of your lifestyle, because you had been on a diet, it was harder for you to stay on track. Does that make sense? So we want to do things to fit your lifestyle. So when I was working with Karel, for example, we were really focused on making sure that this training became part of her lifestyle. Because she had already things with her allergies. I don't know if you guys remember that whole sequence that she had. She was traveling. She was constantly teaching, running around New York, up and down. But the thing we had to focus on is how do we make this nutrition part of your lifestyle? So you make it bigger and you change your lifestyle or improve your lifestyle instead of just focusing on a small diet. Did that make sense? Yeah, that made sense, right? I think that made logical sense. So then we have the second bubble. And in the second bubble, it says mindset. And what you want to do there is that we want to focus on being proactive. And what I mean with being proactive is that you are not constantly focused on attacking the things that are happening outside, right? You're very focused on making sure that you are not reacting to the outside world, that you are committed to understanding what's happening and then making a logical choice and not reacting to everything, right? Does that make sense? Make sure to not react to everything, but to make a decision based on what you actually feel here, right? Like the right decision, being proactive instead of being reactive. Now, I know by my own experience that there are some of you guys that actually want to get more help with this thing. And what we do here in Be Fit and Sensual is that we are helping dancers to go from where they are to where they want to be. If that is from good to great, or if that is from beginner to good, or if that is from great to unstoppable. That's what we help people like you with. If that's something that you want like actual help with, we would love to assist you. There's a button here or there, somewhere around on this page, there's a button. Smash that button, and on the next page you're going to be able to get on a call together with me and one team. And it's going to be a super casual conversation where we're running over 3 things essentially. Where you are, so we understand your current situation. Where you want to go, so we can draw a roadmap to get there. And then what are the things that are holding you back, right? Because if you understand those 3 things, where you are, where you want to go, and the obstacles that are holding you back, it's going to be super easy for us to draw a roadmap. It's not going to cost anything, so I'm letting you know right now that you can just leave your credit card in the other room, because even if you wanted to, you couldn't buy anything on this call. Now, for total transparency, we know that when we do these calls, every once in a while, we're gonna meet a dancer that says, hey, you know what, I would love to join your program. Then we have another conversation with them in a different call. In the first one is just to give back to you guys because you spend the time, watch this webinar, so it's our way of giving back. Cool? Now, proactive is the first thing that we help all of our dancers with. So they're not reacting to the world, but they are proactively making decisions that are helping them improve whatever they want to improve. A proactive choice is, for example, when you are at a buffet and you see this dessert and you're eating the dessert, and all of a sudden you say, hey, wait, I wasn't supposed to eat dessert. That's not what I'm doing. I'm on this journey. But you got caught by the moment, so you reacted to it. But the proactive choice is that I'm not going to eat this because that's not going to bring me close to my goals. Okay? So that's the first thing. The next thing that we help dancers with their mindset is that we build frameworks and principles. And frameworks and principles, why is this so important? So see it like this, right? If you have frameworks that helps you understand what's going on up here, it's going to be a lot easier for you to make the right decision without needing to think about it. Why? Because you have a framework, you have principles that you stand by. So there is always an answer to every situation, or there is always a way to navigate in every new situation that is happening. The world is upside down, let's be honest. So with frameworks and principles that fits your individual lifestyle, it's a lot easier to navigate, right? When I was working together with Antonio Berardi, one of the things that he was saying is that like we had to work on his mindset to get into that next level. He's already world class, right? He's already world class elite in his dancing, 1% of the 1%. Now my goal was to make him even sharper. So what we had to do is that we had to develop frameworks for him to think and principles that he stood by. So when his friend called, like he's Italian, right? And when his friends called and says like, hey, like, you know what, let's go out and have pasta and blah, 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 and dessert and this, he had some frameworks and principles that he stood by, so he didn't need to make a decision over and over and over and over and over again. Right? Same thing before he got up on stage. We had some frameworks that we worked on, so he knew exactly where to put his mind in order for him to top perform. Cool? Now, next thing, before we go on, next thing, let's just do a quick recap just so you guys are making sure, so we are making sure that you're following. We've been running over 2 of the 3 things that we help dancers with. It's the nutrition, and there we help you with the diet, no diet. We make this a lifestyle change instead. Then we ran over the mindset, and then it's principles and frameworks, and we also said proactive choices and decisions instead of being reactive. Those are the 2 things we've been running over so far. Now, we have the training part left, which is obviously the main thing that we do and the reason why you are here, right? We are, number one, train according to your dance. There is a big chance that I just misspelled according. Don't worry about it. I'm actually dyslexic, so don't laugh. It's not right to laugh, right? I'm doing my absolute best here. So if I misspelled it, don't worry about it, right? As long as you understand the point here. Train according to your dance. Training according to your dance is obviously dance-specific training. That's what we do. If you're training like a bodybuilder, sooner or later you're gonna move like a bodybuilder, right? There's a reason why basketball players train basketball-specific training. Football players play specific football training. Fighters do MMA-specific training. But yet we dancers, we like to train like bodybuilders, which makes absolutely no logical sense on planet Earth, because this is gonna diminish our dance. I don't really understand why we're doing that from the beginning. But here we are. Now we are training according to our dance. And that is exactly what we did together with Luis and Andrea, the bachata couple, when we started training together with them, right? And the reason was because, again, they were already training and they had a trainer from before, but they trained like bodybuilders. And what ended up happening is that they became stiff in their movements, so they were locked inside of it. And me as a dancer, I've been dancing 13 years professionally. It was very easy for me to say, hey, listen, I saw your old video, I see your new video, and I hate to break it to you guys, but you guys are starting to look stiff. So when you train according to your dance, you're doing the things that you want to become better at. So maybe you want to have better footwork. Let's practice getting better footwork. Maybe you're a dancer that wants to have better endurance so you can social dance longer. Then we're gonna focus on your endurance. Maybe you are the type of dancer that wants to have cleaner lines while dancing or doing better body waves or arm waves. Then we're focusing on those things, right? But we're incorporating it inside of your training so you get your aesthetic goals, your strength goals, and your dance goals all at the same time, right? Again, if you want some help with that, I know this can be very overwhelming. So if you want some help with that, just get on that call. The button is down here under. Like I said, we're gonna run over 3 things: where you are, where you wanna go, what's your obstacles. And probably your obstacles is just knowledge. Maybe you never heard about this thing before. So book the call and let's just have a casual conversation about it, yeah? Then the last thing in all of this is with dance-specific training, you can do home training or gym. It doesn't really matter, honestly. I'm a big proponent of home training. And there were years and years of time where I weighed as much as I'm doing now, looked the same way I'm doing now, and I was only focused on training home. There is ways for you to grow muscles at home. There's ways for you to drop weight at home if that's what you're interested in. There is absolutely ways for you to become a better dancer while training at home and become more flexible. One of the dancers I've trained, his name is Chavez. Chavez is the first generation of bachata sensual dancers. Legend in the bachata sensuals world, right? When he came to me, he was training at the gym, constantly being, he was just growing bigger, to be honest with you guys. But when he came with me, we started focusing only on home training. There were a lot of things happening in his life. I wanted him to focus more. So instead of going 2 times to the gym for 2 hours, I said, you know what, let's train 5 days a week at home, 20 minutes max. You can just do it in your living room, doesn't matter, no weights, no resistance band, just body weight, and that's it. What ended up happening was that he lost a ton of weight, became more confident, fixed his knee, and just overall became a better dancer. And overall just raised his standard of living. So those are the 3 things that we are focusing on here at Be Fit and Sensual. If you want help with that, honestly, I would love to get on that call with you. Don't overthink it. We're gonna have a casual conversation. Like I said, you can't buy anything. And just to summarize everything, 3 takeaways from this webinar is that number 1, train according to your dance. Number 2, if you wanna move like a bodybuilder, then train like a bodybuilder. If you wanna move like a dancer, then train like a dancer. And number 3, don't be shy, book that call, be brave. You can't buy anything, it's not gonna cost you anything. There's one thing that's gonna happen, is that you're gonna get more clarity, and that's it. So if you're interested, get that call. Remember, as always, by dancers, for dancers. and I'm really looking forward to speak to you.